Well, I hope you've had a chance to read John's Gospel 9:1 through 41, or that you'll be able to do so after listening to this little reflection from me for a Sunday in Lent. You know how young children look with eyes of wonder at whatever is intriguing them. You can see the wonder on a child's face as she focuses completely on what is absorbing her at this moment. That's the look of kids at Disneyland, or at a show, or when visiting the zoo, or at the Mr. Whippy van, or on the beach, or when watching a ladybird scuttling across a leaf. It's the evident wonder of a child meeting a baby brother or sister for the very first time. Intent and intense. That internal precious wonder that we can see on the outside. We cannot help but be moved. And that's the kind of energy I find in John's Gospel. In a Lenten reflection a few years ago, Father Richard Rohr described the great theatre piece gospel about a man born blind. Good phrasing. Theatre piece gospel. The great theatre piece gospel. Somebody else made the point that in another gospel, the episode about the blind man might have been a parable. The author of the fourth gospel, however, writes his teaching stories into little dramas of interaction. The man who has not seen at all is brought to sight, not because he requests it, but because it happens to him if he does as he is instructed. His life's journey has taken an interesting turn, hasn't it? When he's questioned, he first of all states the simple facts. He put mud on my eyes. Then I washed, and now I see. Wow, what more need be said? Under the pressure of questions from people around about who cannot see what they are seeing, they cannot see what they are seeing, the man whose eyes were opened goes on to conclude that the one who made this happen was a prophet. The questioners resist what they are hearing. They go around in circles of confusion, and they practice avoidance as well. They try the man's parents. Then they decide that they have no choice but to question the man again. Their persistent questions have the effect of helping the man to explore the depth of what he has experienced. Here is an astonishing thing. You do not know where he comes from, yet he opened my eyes. We know that God does not listen to sinners, but he does listen to one who worships him and obeys his will. Never since the world began has it been heard that anyone opened the eyes of a person born blind. If this man were not from God, he could do nothing. Well, do we see how the man has changed before our eyes? We heard he used to sit at the gate and beg. Then he was told what to do, and he did it. He made a judgment call that Jesus has to be a prophet. How quickly, growing through the force of resistance, he has matured into reasoning and reflection. He says something quite different about Jesus now. As for the others, their inability to see what's in front of their noses has developed into a need not to rethink their world, and then into a violent reaction to the teaching in their midst. They even recognize it as teaching. They see it as such, but they've hardened themselves against the possibility of change. They cannot even tolerate the teaching. They feel compelled to drive it away. I want to mention the mud and spit. You see, it's not about the mud, but it's so about the mud, taken from the ground and moistened with spittle. The mud reminds me of the earth in the story of creation. The other week I quoted Bishop Spong. In John's Gospel we see humanity and divinity flowing together. Humanity and divinity flowing together. Again today. It's in the humanity of us that we bear life, and life is about change and growth. Fueled by wonder, fueled even by resistance. The once blind man sees the convergence point of humanity and divinity flowing together. Others choose not to be open to seeing it. And none of it is about who is being punished or rewarded. It's a waste of time to try to attach blame for the man being born blind. None of the stuff here about, well, it's on your side of the family, says one parent to the other. In life's circumstances, says Jesus, everything that matters involves revelation, so that God's works may be revealed in him and in us. If there's any sin, it's always the refusal to grow. So said one of the church fathers in the 4th century. And so, friends, may this story of wonder fill you up as you think about it. Let's stay open to its teaching. Blessings and peace be upon you.